Good Thursday, everyone. Welcome into today's daily Bible reading for December the 29th. Today we are reading together in Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Appreciate you taking some time to read along with me today. Let me go and get the text up on the screen for us. We'll get to reading. We have left here chapter 10 today, chapter 11 tomorrow, chapter 12 on Saturday, and that will wrap up our 2022 reading. And then on Sunday, we will begin our read through the historical writings of the Old Testament, Genesis through Esther. We're going to be what we're going to read for the next year. I will have that handout that you've had the 3 months reading schedule. I'll have that ready to hand out on Sunday for you to have and to look at. But just know that on Sunday itself, we'll be reading together from Genesis chapter 1. For today, though, let's get here in Ecclesiastes 10. This chapter focuses on folly and foolishness and the advantages of wisdom over foolishness and some ways in which there just is not much that you can do about it. Sometimes you can be as wise as you want to be, but bad things can still happen. And yet that does not mean we should neglect a pursuit of living in a wise manner. So let's read together here in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse number 1, which says, "The dead flies make a perfumer's oil ferment and stink. So a little folly outweighs wisdom and honor. A wise person's heart goes to the right, but a fool's heart to the left. Even when the fool walks along the road, his heart lacks sense, and he shows everyone he is a fool. If the ruler's anger rises against you, don't leave your post, for calmness puts great offenses to rest. There is an evil I have seen under the sun, an error proceeding from the presence of the ruler. The fool is appointed to great heights, but the rich remain in lowly positions. I have seen slaves on horses, but princes walking on the ground like slaves. The one who digs a pit may fall into it, and the one who breaks through a wall may be bitten by a snake. The one who quarries stone may be hurt by them, and the one who splits logs may be endangered by them. If the axe is dull and one does not sharpen its edge, then one must exert more strength. However, the advantage of wisdom is that it brings success. If the snake bites before it is charmed, then it is no advantage for the charmer. The words from the mouth of a wise person are gracious, but the lips of a fool consume him. The beginning of the words from his mouth is folly, but the end of his speaking is evil madness. Yet the fool multiplies words, and no one knows what will happen. And who can tell anyone what will happen after him? The struggles of fools weary them, for they don't know how to go to the city. Woe to you, land, when your king is a youth, and your princes feast in the morning. Blessed are you, land, when your king is a son of nobles, and your princes feast at the proper time, for strength and not for drunkenness. Because of laziness, the roof caves in. Because of negligent hands, the house leaks. A feast is prepared for laughter, and wine makes life happy, and money is the answer for everything. Do not curse the king, even in your thoughts, and do not curse a rich person, even in your bedroom. For a bird of the sky may carry the message, and a winged creature may report the matter." And that is Ecclesiastes chapter 10. All right, looking through this text, just making a few comments. Again, the main focus of this text is foolishness, and it is contrasted throughout the text with wisdom, and it shows the advantages of wisdom over foolishness, although there are some instances in which bad things happen either way. And yet again, that should not deter us from seeking to be a wise people. To begin with, it just sets the stage, letting us know that foolishness is destructive. Dead flies and a perfumer's oil ferment it and stink. Why they ruin it. In the same way, a little folly outweighs wisdom and can cause a lot of damage. So it just shows the danger that foolishness can cause, even in good situations, even whenever there might be some wisdom to try to counteract it. Bad decision making, foolishness, really, really dangerous. There is foolishness that is seen in people lacking sense. shows foolishness whenever you're in a bad situation, that instead of acting foolish and getting angry, if you remain calm, then you can make the best out of that situation. Foolishness leads to those who should be in leadership positions not being in leadership positions, and those who should not be in leadership positions being in leadership positions. That's verses 6 and 7. Verses 8 and 9, there's always danger. Even if you use great wisdom, even if you're doing things that are good, even if you're doing things that are perfectly fine, there is still danger in various activities in life. Somebody might be digging a pit or breaking through a wall. I think those are seen as nefarious acts. There's danger in that. Then there's just regular everyday activity like quarrying stones or splitting logs, and there's danger in that too. You really can't help it. There's not much wisdom there's not much benefit that wisdom is provided in those two differing situations. Yet there is an advantage to wisdom in verse number 10, that if you have some sense about you, then you're not going to continue to try to work with a dull axe. You're going to sharpen it up. That way you can work smarter and not harder. That really, to me, is the prototypical verse for that wise saying that we think of today. Again, don't work harder, work smarter, not harder. That's Ecclesiastes 10 and verse number 10. And then applying wisdom in a timely manner. If you're a snake charmer, as is mentioned in verse number 11, you might want to charm that snake as quick as possible before you give it an opportunity to bite you. Because once it bites you, well, then the wisdom is kind of out the door and not going to be very beneficial to you. Foolish words are the subject matter of verses 12 through 15. Basically, don't listen to the fool. If you listen to the fool, you're going to get in trouble. Quality leadership is necessary. Again, quality leadership is led by wisdom and not foolishness. If you don't have that, then you're going to have trouble. And then finally, verses 18, 19, and 20. These are 3 ways to help have an enjoyable life under the sun. Number 1, do good quality work. And speaking about houses here, and I've heard horror stories. Even my parents, mom and dad, had to deal with a not so great contractor at one point in their past, and it was difficult having a house that didn't operate the way it was supposed to operate, that whenever you put a ball on the ground, it would roll on its own. That's not good. You don't want that within a house. Do good quality work, and you can save yourself a lot of trouble. Pleasure and money are useful. Now, that doesn't mean we just live like complete heathens and in a hedonistic type of way, just being enthralled by the flesh. But the reality is pleasure is good. We've seen that on a number of occasions throughout this text already. And then money is necessary in order to solve problems. We have to have money. That's the way this world operates. If you want to be able to pay for things, if you want to be able to take care of issues that you have, you need money in order to do that. Well, how do you have money? Well, you work hard and you apply your effort to earn that money. And then finally, respect authority. Respect authority in this life, and you can avoid a lot of trouble as well. So in this text, we're just checking out foolishness versus wisdom. And I think once again, in the contest between foolishness and wisdom definitely wins out. So let us be a people who pursue wisdom, who consider the very text that we've been reading over the past few months here in Job, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes. They are full of wisdom that when applied can very much benefit us and bless us in this life. Why? Well, because they're from God. And these texts are a blessing from God to us in order for us to be benefited in tremendous ways. I appreciate you tuning in for this reading on this Thursday. Just a couple more readings here in Ecclesiastes, chapter 11 and chapter 12, and then we'll move on in 2023, beginning in Genesis and working our way through Esther over the next 365.